So I want to move into a little bit about why crypto. We just talked about what is crypto, but Mohammed, there's two major things, kind of like DeFi and NFTs. And I'm curious from
Yeah,
you, like why crypto? Like why is this important to you as an artist, as an individual, as Mohammed?
yeah. Let's start with NFTs, man. Like when the first when the f- when I first heard about NFTs, must have been maybe like 7, 8 months ago or so. And right now it's February 2022. And I kept on hearing it all throughout 2021. I heard mentions of it in 2020, but I wasn't in that realm at all. But I remembered my friend about half a year ago did a virtual concert in the metaverse. Like he's an incredible singer, songwriter, like live performer. And he was like, "Sorry, yo, I gotta go do a concert in the metaverse." And I was like, "Whoa, slow your roll." Like,
Yeah,
what?
whoa, that's
What?
crazy.
And similarly, he's part of a collective. I forgot which NFT collection it is, but this NFT collection is in charge of like live performers and hold space for people and book people in this metaverse. Because we already do similar things. Through these online platforms like Zoom theater plays, or you might see a Zoom show or even a Zoom concert. But the NFT for me, that was my first, like the first time I ever heard it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how it was. I didn't know why it was. I just knew it was. And as I learned a little bit more about it, what's interesting to me is just the technology that is associated to NFTs. And NFTs is not the artwork itself. NFT is just a smart contract. And you'll keep hearing us repeat this. An NFT is just a smart contract because an NFT basically is a collection of data that proves that something is real or not real, or belongs or not belongs. It lets you know proof of ownership, I guess. And within the technology of NFTs, as NFTs are being minted and then put into circulation, bought, sold, traded, a portion of the NFTs, uh, um, like with every transaction that this NFT goes through, a portion of the money, the currency, goes to the original artist. This concept, for a still JPEG image of what we normally think about an NFT, at first seems useless to someone like myself, who is a live performer, records music, create movies. But then, as I think about just this idea of to create, I don't know, like actual ownership and what's the word I'm looking for? A dedicated percentage that goes to the original artist. I've never heard of that. Like we have Picasso's in circulation, and Picasso's estate is never going to get $1 of any of the buying selling of any Picasso. We have like Van Gogh's, like incredible, like high level pieces of art that is being bought, sold, traded, whatever, auctioned off. And Picasso's, the Van Goghs, like the original artists will not see 1 cent of that. We have streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, so on and so forth, where artists are putting their music onto this platform in hopes that it is, accessible to the people. And we get pennies on the dime, pennies on the dollar, respectfully, to the actual money generated from the streaming. But if you were to drop music as an NFT, the original creator of that music always gets a percentage, no matter if this is being circulated. And more so than that, it's like you could share ownership. You can actually, it's this idea for me that I can actually trust and believe in the fan base of people that is supporting the art that is being created, and give them partial ownership to feel committed to like help that artist grow, whether it is me or not myself. Um, and that's NFTs. And I didn't talk about DeFi because I want to save it for Alex, but DeFi is the reason why I'm here at all. And Alex, would you like to expand a little bit on decentralized finances?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just wanted to recap how cool NFTs are. It stands for non-fungible token. Like Mohammed said, it's not just a JPEG. It's really the smart contract and this like verification method where if criterias are met, the contract executes. You can't neg on it. It's the ultimate form of a contract type of thing. And for any artist or any creator, genuinely, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not at least exploring what NFTs can offer for you. The creator fee, again, revolutionary. Like, why am I so into crypto? It's revolutionizing so many different things about how we normally interact as a society. So the creator fee is really, really cool. It allows for the artist or the creator to get paid every single time their art or their work transacts. And I'm not even a creator, but there's no reason why you can't tell me that shouldn't be the way it is. It's why wouldn't the person who made it get a small percentage of their sales of their own work, right? It seems kind of like, why has that never happened before? It hasn't happened because we haven't had a verification method or layer, like a settlement layer for all of these things to happen. Like, you don't know when that Picasso sold, but you know when the NFT sold, because all that data, again, is stored on the blockchain. Every single transaction is there. You can see what date it sold for. You can see who bought it, who sold it, for how much, everything. So the transparency behind it, having that settlement layer that never existed before, it's a revolutionary technology. And I'm really excited about the possibilities of NFTs for artists, for musicians, and even beyond that too. But yeah, I'll want to talk about DeFi because for me, my background's in finance. I went to school for business and finance. I worked in commercial real estate as a financial analyst when I graduated. Initially, like, finance was a big part of my life in college and after college. And, I didn't learn a lot about finance growing up. My dad was an immigrant from Greece, moved here when he was 7. They were extremely poor when they moved here. As an immigrant, definitely did not have any traditional banking services that were offered to you in that realm. It takes money to make money. It's kind of like the US slogan, more or less. But if you don't have money, it is damn hard to start. And if you don't have a background check that checks out, it is damn hard to start. So, 2020 along came this concept of DeFi, this decentralized finance. First token was this token called YFI, YIFI. And basically it just provided a way for people to like earn interest on their crypto. They could deposit it into this Curve protocol and earn interest. All of this is kind of buzzwordy. It doesn't really, not really applicable if this is the first time you're hearing about it, but I want to at least set up the layup so that I can talk a little bit more about how DeFi can be relative and useful to you right now. So I mentioned, I don't remember if it was this video or the last video, but there's an application or a protocol, I should say, called Aave, and another one called Compound. These are the number 1 and 2 DeFi, decentralized finance applications that you can use. And essentially what it does, if you have any collateral, even if it's $1,000, if you have any amount of collateral, you can deposit that money onto the protocol and then either just earn interest on it. So depending on the type of currency that you deposit, there's varying interest rates that you can just earn as a passive investor. If you're looking for passive income, right now the bank offers, I don't even know if it's 0.01% interest. They're not giving you anything that is going to make any difference in your life. On DeFi, within DeFi, there's all these different protocols that you can just deposit money on and just earn income. If that's all you want to do, great. If you want to take it a step further and you actually want to borrow money, when again, this to me is where it really goes from 0 to 1 about how cool this is. At any moment, at any time, as long as you have collateral, you can go on these DeFi applications and get a loan, more or less. You can borrow money, real money, right now. And for a lot of people in the vintage community, a lot of people are heavy on cash transactions. They're, for whatever it is, if they went to a bank to try to get a loan, they might not have the necessary documents or the necessary quote unquote proof of income that could qualify them for the loan, even though they know that they could pay the payments every month. They don't necessarily have the technical documents that are required from the centralized finance structure right now that is required to get a loan. And people need money now. If you need money now, there's not a lot of options legally that you can turn to get money, even if you have money. So with DeFi, again, you can deposit that collateral onto these DeFi applications. Once the money's on there, you can borrow up to a certain amount, usually between 60 to 75% of your collateral. And again, this is not financial advice. Don't go do this because I told you to. Nothing we say in any of these videos is financial advice. We're just here to give you guys a general education and let you make your own decisions. But for me, if I had some money, I didn't want to spend it all to buy this thing, I can put that money, deposit it, borrow what I need to borrow, and then pay it back on my terms. It's not a 12-month loan. It's not a 10-month loan. There's no specific terms. You can borrow it for as long as you need to. You're being charged interest, of course, during that time. But the interest rates are highly competitive, usually between like 3 to 8% annually, which would honestly probably be cheaper than what the bank's going to charge you as is. So the ability for people all over the world, you might be thinking in the US, this isn't really a problem for you. You have a good relationship with your bank, maybe, and whatever the case is. We're really fortunate in the US to have these, I don't want to say luxuries, but utilities. You think about other places in the world, women in Afghanistan or places in Africa where it might not even be safe physically to travel to the bank because you might get robbed as soon as you take out money from there. Now, there's nothing stopping you from being able to be your own bank. That is really what DeFi is doing, is allowing you to be your own bank. Some places it's not even legal. A lot of these places in the Middle East for women to even have a bank account. So the ability for these people to earn income, be their own bank, be in charge of their own money, again, purely revolutionary. It's so cool. It's definitely one of those things where you need to click the buttons and play around in it. And we'll probably make another video doing a walkthrough about how to utilize some of these DeFi protocols. But yeah, just the ability to be your own bank. Doesn't matter what your background is. In DeFi, there's no prejudice. There's no predatory, loaning because they can see where you're from or anything like that. It's anonymous. It's purely, do you have the money to put up? And if you have the money to put up, you are more than welcome to borrow a healthy percentage of that money.
And that's DeFi. You're probably gonna want to
That's
rewind that.
DeFi. That's really the main things. What is crypto? Why crypto? DeFi and NFTs are probably the two most popular use cases, and they're huge. That's not to say like there's only two things. Like the options within those things is mind blowing. The different amount of layers to all of this is it's going to take years to understand, truthfully, and it's okay. Do not feel overwhelmed. Mohammed, myself, Vintage DAO. There's so many people that are resources here for you. I'm always available. Hit me up on my personal account, my thrift deal, and I'm always happy to help anybody answer any questions and what have you. But I think for today, man, that's pretty good. I think that's a great intro into what is crypto and why crypto. Is there anything you want to
Yeah.
share, Mohammed, to the people before we head out?
No, man. I mean, the same thing. Like, reach out to Alex at My Thrift Deal on Instagram. Reach out to me at Secondhand Scoops on Instagram. Reach out to the Vintage DAO on Instagram. Join the Discord. It's in its beta phase right now. You know what I'm saying? But join the Discord. Ask questions. Like, genuinely ask questions. Do your own research. Do your own research. Do your own research. But please, like, be in community with people that are actually doing it. Like, that is the core, that's the crux of that's the foundation of it all.
Yeah,
But thank
you
y'all
got to
so much
get
for
deep in
tuning
it.
in and listening.